It is tournament time again up at Warhammer World, and we went up there to a 32 man event. We played Tangled Gnarlwood again. I won all 4 games, which was pretty fun. I got this pretty sweet second place trophy. Our boy Toast managed to get first place, so very good on him. Demetrios came third. So today we are going to go over that event. We're going to look at the participants. We're going to look at the different lists, and we're going to have a chat about the kind of meta that we seem to have this year up at Warhammer World. Okay, everybody, we did it. We absolutely smashed it last year. We hit that 3,000 subscriber goal. Let's do it again this year. We're going for 5K. All you need to do is like and subscribe. And in fact, no, you don't need to subscribe. What I would like you to do now, after you finish watching this video, I've got a massive playlist of all sorts of things Warcry. Check out one of those videos and see if that's what you like. But if you want to throw some more support my way, you can join me here as a member. You can join me over on Patreon. You can join my Discord. Links for that are going to be down in the description below. Either way, you get to see stuff before it's released. You get to have a say into the kind of content that I create in the future. That's it from me for now. Let's get back to the video. Okay, first thing that I want to talk about are the events. We are playing the Ferocious Gnarlwood 2-pack. We've been playing this at Warhammer World since, I want to say, June, July. I think I've played personally 3 events with these missions, plus an additional one when I went up to Tabletop Scotland. We played a bunch of missions from it there, and I think we may have played one of these missions in Southampton. So they are well trodden by now. But the missions that we did play were Endless Struggle, Lightning Raid, Race to the Ground, and Brutal Encounter. I'm going to put a link to the pack down below so you can check it out yourself. In short, we had 2 kill missions and we had 2 objective missions. The interesting thing about the Tangled Gnarlwood 2-pack, not Tangled, I keep saying Tangled, the Ferocious Gnarlwood 2-pack, is that all of the missions, they've got primaries, they've got secondaries, and they have a twist. And the twist is kind of meant to be a backup mechanic. Not a backup mechanic, a catch-up mechanic to help you if you are behind. The 2 kill missions, the way you score your points in the 2 kill missions, Endless Struggle and Brutal Encounter, we're going to get 1 point if we killed an enemy fighter. We're going to get 1 point if we killed more fighters than our opponent. We're going to get 1 more point if we killed an enemy hero, thrall, or monster. That additional point is cumulative, so it carries on through the grounds. I did say that there were secondaries to these missions. Brutal Encounter, we are looking at table quarters, and you basically have to have more fighters in the table quarter than your opponent. If you manage to do that, you get 2 points. And Endless Struggle, there are basically shrines that you've got to go and capture, and those shrines will turn on, and the person who's losing gets to choose which shrines turn on during the game. Then you're going to get additional points for capturing those shrines at the end of each battle round. The 2 objective missions, Lightning Raid and Race to the Ground, basically a whole bunch of objective missions. You get a point if you control 1 objective, you get a point if you control more than your opponent, and you get 1 if you control 2. The secondaries are going to be kill secondaries, as opposed to the objective secondaries, you just have to kill your opponent's models. We've trodden this ground fairly regularly before. We've done a whole bunch of events like this. I hope that Games Workshop is cooking up something a little bit different, because you can't just have 1 mission pack that you continue to run event over event over event. Otherwise it gets a bit boring, it gets a bit stale. I believe these 4 missions that we played were the exact same missions that we played at Warhammer World back in November. There are 6 missions in the mission pack, so they could pick some of the other ones, but generally I think the other 2 are Mystic Glade, and there is one more that I can't remember. The other 2 I don't think are as good as these 4 missions. Hopefully next time we're going to have something new to talk about. Here, what I've got for you are the participants and average tournament points that everybody got. You need 16 points minimum to go 3-1. So that's going 5 wins, netting you 15 points, and that 1 last win for a loss. You'll see here that Stormcast Eternals are back. They had a slight lull at Warhammer World for some reason. I don't know why. Last month, Dark Oath were kind of everywhere. I still blame Toast for that, but, you know, no conclusive proof. Yeah, Stormcast are back. They had 5 participants. They didn't do all that badly, actually. Your average Stormcast score was 2-2, which is kind of okay. The list we're about to look at, so you're going to see a Reclusian list. I think you're going to see 1 more that managed to go 3-1. So Stormcast have been doing all right. At the top, we have Skaven. Of course, I won all my games, managed to win that. The other Skaven player didn't do as well as we thought that they would do, so which is why the average tournament points are being pulled down slightly. Seraphon did pretty well. Normally, you don't really see Seraphon being able to top these kinds of events, but two players with kind of different lists managed to go 3-1, which is very good. At the bottom, we have one player who went Untamed Beasts, Signs of the Flame. There were two players. They ended up having a mirror match at some point, so that might be some kind of contributor to their average tournament score. And then we basically have everyone else. Dark Host Savages, we do not have the 5 players that came last time, down to 2. They did okay. It's all middle of the pack. If you guys want to see the final standings, I will have that on your screen now. You can see first place, Adam came with Soulblight Gravelords. I came second with Skaven, Demetrios third with Karajan Overlords, and then you'll see a bunch of different things. You'll see Seraphon being able to top for the first time, a lot of Stormcast Eternals. You've got Armish in 6th place, 11th and 12th place with Finn and Santiago. They all did very well with Stormcast. It is worth noting that the way BCP works is that it lumps all Stormcast together. Those warbands that had the best success were definitely Reclusian Chamber, followed by Thunderstrike. Some interesting things to point out here, if we look at the total kill points, me in 2nd place and Armish in 6th, you'll see very low kill points. On my part, is because I was playing a pretty swarmy, low damage Skaven list, and on Armish's part, he was playing this kind of strange triple Reclusian double Birdman list, which I guess had a lot of mobility thanks to the teleport and the birds, but not a whole great deal of stopping power, really only being able to kill the things. Like, it's more like a scalpel than a sledgehammer. You choose a thing, you kill it, hope that's the most effective thing, and that kind of works out for you. In terms of victory points spread was okay. Nothing amazingly interesting there. Stefan in 9th place with Seraphon managed to get the highest with a very low amount of victory points. My games in particular, if we go back and look at them, they're all very closely scored. I think in most games, I only won by like 1 or 2 points. And that was against a very different array of different lists. I played against Seraphon, I played against Iron Jaws, a whole bunch of different list types. So I think that really shows how close these games are, despite having a larger warband and a much faster warband with all the resurrection tricks. I think that overall it was a very good field and a very even field. One thing that I do want to say is that players are improving. The quality of competition is only going up, and the quality of the lists that we're seeing is only going up. We still don't have the kind of ultra-tuned, this is the best thing in the world lists that we tend to see in other areas around the world. But what we are seeing, the lists that we get, there's a lot of thought going into them. Each piece is there for a reason, and they're all very well-designed lists, at least the lists that are being able to top the event. So that's encouraging for me. It shows that, well, basically people are improving, which is exactly what we want. A bunch of new names in here also, which is very good. It shows that people are getting more into the game. 34 players, absolutely fine. I think they sold 36 tickets and 2 dropped out on the day. So that's it. Basically a sold out event for Warhammer World. Right, so to look at the lists, I have the best players in the UK with me today. Apparently, that's what people say. I have the new United Kingdom Grand World Champion, the second one after myself. War Games on Toast, the man, the legend.
Hey.
How you doing?
Boy howdy, dropping the boy howdy.
Boy howdy.
Champion tier, boy howdy, of course.
Champion tier, gold star War Games on Toast, and I have the not so gold star, bronze star, 3rd place. He did very well. Demetrios is here also. Welcome, sir.
Good to be here. Only lost to the champion, so I'll take it.
Exactly. That's it, right? If we can only lose to ourselves, that means we can't lose to anyone else. That's a fact. So what we're going to do, we are going to look at some of these lists. We're going to look at all the 3-on-1s, see how they did, and Toast has a couple of special lists that he wants to take a look at. Right, but let's start 1st place. Adam, you did it. With Zondra and Furlane, which
I did,
is the meme of memes, but you cracked it, man. Those spike blessings, amazing. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the list has mostly stayed the same since I conceived of it, for Road to Gold, right? And last second, it was 2 minutes before sign-in, I changed my blessings from strength blessings to spite. changed the list completely. It made the list. It went from being good to being absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It was just stay back, resurrect when he needs to resurrect. When Fairlane died, Night of Shrouds picked him up. Night of Shrouds was like amazing. If you haven't run Night of Shrouds, 250 points, moving 10, 28 wounds. Fly, it heals for days. Like in all my games, it only died once. And in every other game, it took like minimum like 50 plus damage over the course of the game. Insane. Super good. Fairlane, 2-6 profile, rips things apart. Get those sixes, just roll sixes. Things die.
Sixes win the game.
It killed a Rat Ogre in melee 1v1 twice over because I rolled that many sixes on attack and it just died, which is hilarious. The actual player of the game is Pick. Pick killed so many things, like knocking off the last wound reliably in every game. It was amazing. Loved it. It won the last game by killing the Prosecutor Prime.
Sure.
It killed like 3 legionaries in the first game. Pretty sure it was the zombie who killed Phylax's admiral on the last turn to win that game.
Might have been. Yeah, it was 2 attacks.
Yeah, Pick is it's not good, but in the event it did amazing work. So definite promotion. But if you're running Zandara and you want to take Fairlane's absolutely fine. Give them both spite. It opens up defense with your defensive reaction. It opens up Unfeeling Flesh. It opens up counter if you're going to die. You can still react with Zandara or Fairlane on the death, so you can react twice on their turn, basically. Like it's good. Like they survived way longer than they should have survived, and they killed way more than they should have killed.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
There aren't many reactions in the game that you would really want to use Spite on. I think this is one of the very few ones. So Spite, for everyone who doesn't know, it's the free reaction even if you've got 1 free reaction a turn. And Fairlane and Zondara, they've got a reaction whereby they get pumped up if any of the other one dies, but it lasts for the entire game. So the idea is you're only supposed to be able to use it once, but if you can use it more than once, good stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
in most of my games, in most of my games, I got it off multiple times as well. So I had like Zandara was reliably going to 4 shots per action.
Sure.
In one game, she got to 6 shots per action. Fairlane got to 11 attacks per action at one point. Like it was beautiful.
Nice. Very good. So would recommend, would play again?
Would, yeah, amazing. Zandara's meme dream. Run it, love it. It's great.
Very
Can we also spend a second, and obviously we've got the pictures because I took close-ups of everything.
Yeah.
The warband looked incredible because they were dipped in blood. They were
blood for the blood everywhere.
Disgusting. And that's kind of what you want, you know? And there were a lot of really cool Soul Blight warbands, but I just the image of Fairlane just absolutely up to his elbows in blood as he's like, because the eyes are striking through while his entire muzzle is just, it's a bit like, you know, if you put like milk in front of a dog and they're like head in. I'm like, that werewolf was up in someone's chest all the way in.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was really good. I was really impressed.
Very good. Very good. So, on to second place. Yours truly. I did it with Skaven. We did it. Yeah. I didn't lose any games, which is nice. So, I mean, I'm 12-0 in the last 3 events, I think, in terms of wins, and that's not bad.
Impressive.
So this was, I had 2 Skaven lists that I was going to try, right? One was this one with the Rat Ogre with Warpfire Gun, Spike Claw, bringing his guys back with Spike Claw Swarm, Storm Vermin to protect him, and then just like a bunch of guys to kind of run around and to make up the Skaven battle trait points, because I think you need to run at least 3 70-point guys, because then 1 in your dagger, hammer, or shield can come back to life, and you can do all sorts of things there. This is 10-man. The other option was an 11-man list with Skabic and a second Storm Vermin, so then you got to do more in terms of bodyguard and doing all those kind of things. I like this version of the list, but I think for me personally, if I played the other one, I would have had a better time. I am constantly underwhelmed with this Rat Ogre with Warpfire Gun. And on paper, you would think it's really, really good because it's got 2 shots. Okay, Strength 5 is winning most of the time on 3s. doing a 3/6 damage profile, can shoot twice, uses a double, gets another shot. So in a turn, it should be pushing out 6 dice at strength 5 with a 3/6 damage profile. And you think, yeah, that's fantastic. That's great. But most of the time, I found that the numbers don't really work out properly because it's a 3/6 damage profile. If you go hit crit, you're not one-shotting a 10 wound chaff, which you really want to be. And if you go hit, you're not one-shotting an 8 wound chaff. So you basically have to use both shots just to kill one chaff model, and then you can put another double into it to not kill another chaff model, if you get me. So I'm wondering if that was Skabic instead. Skabic's got a lot of flexibility to him in the way that he can be used, and his speed and the ability to just walk up to chaff and basically mince them and turn them into paste. But the trade-off is you're competing for triples with Scritch, and Scritch is going to be doing your resurrecting on his guys. So like I think it's a more difficult list to play the other version, but I think the ceiling is a lot higher on this on that one. Man of the match goes to Creep Kin Whisper. Like, wow, Creep is kind of crazy. So Creep has a triple where he rolls a bunch of dice equal to value of the ability, and then if he beats the opponent's toughness, he's going to do a flat 3 damage per dice. We played the mission where the backup mechanic, the twist, whatever it's called, was choose an enemy fighter. That fighter goes -2 toughness, and abilities can't work on them. So I used it. I was behind on, I think, round 3 of my game. So going into round 4, I picked a Saurus Knight who went down to toughness 2. And then using my 666, I just used Creep to melt the guy, which is kind of fantastic. It's not going to work on everything because you need to roll more than the toughness, but when it works, it's amazing. Like my options were the Saurus Knight or Otterpatel, both toughness 2 at the time. So I took what I could take. But yeah, I think overall it's a very strong list. It kind of proves that you don't need to be running 2 Rat Ogres, I feel. There are other builds that you can run with Skaven and still do it successfully because they do have 2 sources of resurrect in there, because they do have some like 1 or 2 very efficient heroes. That's definitely a way you want to go. If you guys are trying this out and you're playing an 11-man list, you can bump that down to 10, and then you can give the Hungering, Festering, and the Lurking Skaven +4 wounds apiece. And suddenly when they come back with full wounds, they're a nightmare to shift. Even at 10 wounds, they're just kind of annoying. But at 14, they just become kind of stupid. So yeah, it's a good list.
Yeah.
You can run Skaven a whole bunch of different ways.
I like this a lot as well. I kind of agree with the Warpfire gun. Mm-hmm. Like every game I've been against the Warpfire gun, it's easy to compare that thing to a Slan. They're about the same price. They both get 6 shots. What it boils down to, the Slan fires 3 shots and then 3 shots, not 2, 2, 2.
Yeah.
So you're getting 3 shots into one guy, you're likely to kill a 10 wound guy. With 2 shots, you're actually using 4 shots to kill that same guy. So then you're only killing 1 and a bit guys because the second shot's unlikely to kill. So the third shot's unlikely to kill, right? So it's like it's the split of the attacks that kind of makes it underwhelming. And anecdotally, the Rat Ogre firing into generic death battle trait doesn't kill zombies.
Yeah, totally.
Because the crit gets negated, and then they don't kill a zombie.
Totally.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's a problem. I think like it's fine as a piece, but I find it very underwhelming. Yeah. Maybe we just swap it out for a melee Rat Ogre, and then we see what else we do. Oh, incidentally, I decided to give both Scritch and the Storm Vermin +4 wounds. Scritch comes with 18, which is the squishiest of squishy, but 22, he suddenly becomes a lot tougher. And we all love toughness 5, 14 wounds Storm Vermin. That's what we are happy to. Yes.
Did you use Bodyguard a lot in this list? Or did not come up?
Oh, no, I used it against Iron Jaws.
Yeah, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's like, oh no, they're going to hit me. Oh wait, no, they're not. We are fine because an Iron Jaw, like your basic Ard Boy, is going to have a very hard time taking out toughness 5, 14 wounds. And I think at the end of it, it took 2 brutes and an attack from an Ard Boy to kill the Storm Vermin, which left Scritch able to kind of get out of dodge, run away, resurrect, do his thing. Moving on, we have number 3, Demetrios went to the dark side with Garandran Overlords.
wouldn't say the dark side, the short side maybe, but not dark side.
The broadside.
The broadside, yes, I like that. I was looking into Caradron in general because I had a bunch of their models, and in my mind I have like a bit of a list of like what we're trying, and when I was looking at their profiles and all of that, I was like, there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I never liked a lot of the shooting. So this is like a mostly melee Caradron list because I was like, they've got hammers. We can work with hammers. So we've got 3 regular Arcanauts, 2 Skypikes, absolute MVPs. The amount of damage Skypikes will push out with 3, 4, 2, 6, because they're blessed with ferocity, means that if you're right next to a chaff and you roll your dice, you're hitting on 4s. If you're lucky enough to get 1 or 2 crits, they're deleted. It doesn't matter what it is, it goes. Because like 1 6 is rough, but 2 6s will just throw you out.
Yeah.
The mobile piece is Kazgan Drexcure, movement 10, 3, 4, 2, 5, range 2. Very decent. Very decent. Toughness 4, 18 wounds. It's a piece that can kind of walk off and touch a lot of other pieces. And the +1 to hits and crits pushes him up to 3/6. It's 3/5, no, 3/6 if he's attacking anything that flies, which came in handy when I was fighting some vampire lords. Not that he lasted too long, but he got some damage in. And then Thundrick, the sniper, incredible, wonderful, no notes, great.
It's a nasty pistol.
It's but the thing is, like, I love it because 3525, 9 inches, it has a minimum, so you can't be just shooting with like 0 repercussions. But it will clear chaff. If you're lucky and you roll a crit, it will probably clear chaff on 2 shots, which is decent. And in general, what it does is, oh, I'm sorry, is your guy up on the ledge? Shoot. I might be dropping him. And if I drop him, I think on my last game, on my 3rd game, it might have been him or it might have been the Arcanaut pistol. But like shooting a guy that was like on a bridge holding a point because the bridge was right above.
Yep.
And that guy having to then like run away because there was a pike ready. It was a pike right underneath, to be honest. I could have just but yeah, they were great. Arcanaut Blessed with Strength, 4-5-3-5 for 170 points. I'll take that. I'll take that deal any day. And then the Engine Master being 3-5-3-5 and being able to go to 4-6-3-5 with double. Really good. He looks really small. You put him somewhere, someone gets close to him, he brings a hammer. It's great. And yeah, no, it was a very fun list. It's made out of paper, but it has a lot of offensive capability, and that's where the battle trait comes in. Because I mean, I'll be honest,
it's a bullshit.
It is. So the sheer amount of times that I completely messed myself over, because you have to use the battle trait for you guys to survive, especially if someone gets next any sort of situation where there's a rampage or there's like a bonus attack of some sort. They won't survive 2 attacks from a good piece. So being able to take a 2-5 profile to 1-3, you go, right, good luck. Like, it's rough. But the wild dice, especially on this mission pack, where like for a lot of the missions, the ability to go first is really, really rough sometimes. Like the ability to take initiative. When you're giving that wild dice, it can really make life a lot more difficult. And it is a bit like gambling, right? You go, okay, I'm gonna give you a definite positive that for next round, and I'm gonna hope that you roll really well in this attack and I get to survive it. And there were times where like I did a good deal on like 5 dice, and it was like 2 hits. It's like, oh, okay, so we've taken away 2 damage and you get a wild dice. And then the next attack is like 3 crits. I'm like, oh, Thanks. Wonderful. That's great. But yeah, no, all in all, there's enough risk. Like, the games were hard fought. And it's with the exception of a couple of really good rolls, like this was I'm swapping out my dice. But if you put them correctly and you play them right, they make things easier on you. Toughness 3 on your chaff is rough, though. I don't know how everyone
You
does
got
it.
also 12 wounds with that toughness 3 for 55
That's true, yeah.
points. So, like,
I did have an Arcanaut on round 1, and my apologies to Jack for this. I did have an Arcanaut. He's the only Arcanaut privateer that I did a good deal on,
sure.
because he was sitting there for 2.5 rounds and was fighting out with a Vargskir.
Ha.
The Vargskir does runs in, does the attack, and I do a good deal and does 2 or 4 damage because they don't have a lot of dice. And then second round, it's attack, and I do a good deal. And then the second attack has no hits, where I'm like, how? And then on the third round, just swatted that dwarf.
Nice.
That tiny, tiny little thing, it was different. The size difference was like this. He was doing counter the entire time and just reflecting mad amounts of damage. So he's the one that's always in the pictures. He's going to be right in the front because he performed admirably.
How did you find the speed? Because some people say that this mission pack
Miserable.
is geared towards fast hordes, but you are not a fast horde. You are a slow kind of You're knocking on the door of a large warband, but you're not really there with 9 guys.
With 9 guys, you're
big enough.
You're decent, but the thing is, it's slightly less miserable because everything I play is movement 3. It's either Paladins, Iron Jaws, or these guys now. I think if I ever play anything with movement 5, it's going to blow my mind. But it hurts slightly less because you can catapult a piece in with Thrush, right? And usually what I usually did was the Admiral will run round 1 to get into range of whatever he needs to be into range of. And it takes a bit longer to get there, but usually with the 8 inches of range, it feels slightly less miserable to do 2 moves and still be ages away from anything when you can move once and then shoot, because you're at least hopefully still putting some damage in. So when you actually get in range, it's less effort and it's an easier battle when you get there. So I think the 2 kind of it doesn't. I don't think it balances it out, but it definitely takes a bit of this thing away because you can sacrifice a bit getting there for a chance at damage because you're usually hitting on 5s. But if you roll the lucky crit, you get 3 damage through. You get 3 damage through. It kind of adds up.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that you don't want them in really early. You want your Admiral and your Engine Master and the things that have slightly more wounds to start engaging things so that the privateers can come in a bit later and shoot them in the back. Great.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty much spot on. The actual the pistol element to the cutters and to all your heroes, basically, it just means that you can just you've got an 11-inch threat range, right? Basically, which is more threat range than most models even have, right? Being able to just move 3 and then fire off some pot shots and maybe kill a wounded guy. It's great. It's wonderful. And I think the only issue I have with Caradon is that they are so squishy. 12 wounds is fine, 22 wounds is fine on characters. Toughness 3 and 4, they don't survive once something swings back, even triple, right?
Yeah, no, my Injured Master came in. On our game, my Injured Master put a brave face forward for Lane, left him on 2 wounds. I was like, oh, buddy, that was a bad idea. As for Lane, just literally just filleted him. But yeah, no, it's the kind of thing. If you get in and you need to fight the fight on your own terms. But I like it because there's very obvious playing counterplay. And there are lists that will like take them apart. Like anything that has AoE will do a good bit of damage to them. Because usually I would have to like swarm eventually. So yeah, like just focusing the Arcanauts. I mean, far be it from me to tell people how to beat my list, right? But yeah, like as long as you're taking the Admiral, because usually it was either Admiral or Engine Master with a pike behind them because of Inspiring Presence, which is great. You get, you know, like that was the problem. The Engine Master did not have his emotional support pike. So like he could but I've on that a lot of the trial games and a lot of the test games I've done, like here in Glasgow and in Edinburgh and stuff, like getting the two of them in, they can bring down anything. Because like
Yeah.
4-5-3-5 will devastate on 2 attacks. And even if it doesn't, you're not gonna have much more than just rolling 1 crit on 6 dice. So yeah, no, it was those two little teams were just great, and then everyone else just runs around shooting in
The
the air
Skypike's outstanding.
like a Greek wedding.
Absolutely outstanding. The Skypike's going to 2-6. Like I was talking to Dayton after the event. 2-6 is, in my opinion, probably the most toxic profile in all of Warcry. Because in 5 with a 5-10, people are 5-10's horrible, 4 is horrible. You know you're dying to a 5-10. Don't even pretend that you weren't expecting it, right? At 2-6, you will either do nothing or you will kill anything you touch. And there's nothing in between. And it happens every time. And with that's the Skypike, he just they chunk you. Phil just chunks you. Even Thrall Masters and Cypher Lords. 10 I bet that a Cypher Lord player, that Thrall Master did some disgusting stuff on the battlefield. Because 2-6 is broken as fuck. Too good. And terrible at the same time.
Terrible, yeah, the best and the worst. Right, so yeah, well done, Dimitrios, coming third with that. Real good job. Right, next, fourth place, Luke Reeves. He was playing Seraphon. We got Kixie Taka, Croxigor, Ottopathel, who's great, pair of Saurus Knights, Saurus Guard, and Saurus Warrior. A whole bunch of blessings going in. So strength on the Croxigor. Strength on the Croxigor was interesting. That Croxigor is only strength 5. So if you are expecting to go into a predominantly toughness 5 field with a lot of Stormcast, and they like playing Stormcast in Warhammer World, then strength 6 is a smart move. Same thing with the 2 Saurus Knights that also got +1 strength. I played this in round 3. Tearing Bite is a thing. It's very good. Especially when you have them on slightly faster platforms like Saurus Knights. Basically, I mean, we said before that probably the best Tearing Bite platform is the Scarvet on Cold one, because it has the most attacks for the amount of points that you're putting out. But 165 points for a knight. Yeah, sure, it's not as fast as other cavalry at strength move 6, but it's still pretty good. I learned that they have Bounding Leap now because of the way the rune marks worked from the Agrodon Lancers. Apparently that's a thing. So I can't even. So I can't even go and hide on top of platforms anymore because I can just jump up there. It's a good list. I really like it. It's got synergies in there with Kixie Taka. Ottopathel always fantastic.
I like this a lot. And any list with cavalry, I'm a huge fan of. Massive fan. And having 2 of them, like those Saurus Knights are like strength 5. Like strength 5 after blessing, right? They're 20 wounds, toughness 4, movement 6, 2-inch range. They're good. They're good. Like the list is tiny though. It's like a 7-man list. I don't know, it feels a bit small.
You have damage everywhere though. Because basically everyone has Tearing Bite. Anybody can kill a big thing. You just need to get lucky with your triples. That's it.
Basically. And because he's all in faction as well. You would know this more than me. He's all in faction. So did he take the? You can nerf your range attacks or
Tearing Bite boost. Yeah,
nice.
Tearing Bite boost. So if he's rolling 4s, those Tearing Bites becomes 5s, and then suddenly all bets are off for something being able to survive that. Like, so one hit did 10 damage and you're dead.
Nice. I think this is great because like, Seraphon, again, haven't historically done particularly well at Warhammer World or in events in general from what I can remember. And seeing someone actually pull out a good performance, 4th place is great, right? With Seraphon, finally, is great because they've got the tools to succeed. And finally, they've succeeded.
Apparently they've succeeded. Yes, they have podiums.
I mean, it is to be expected from the guys down in Southampton, right? Southampton Warcry Club, shout out, great guys, really good matches, so really good players. So yeah.
Next, we have Ross. Ross went double breacher Iron Golems.
I played this guy game one. This is my game one opponent in Race to the Ground. So it was basically a giant brawl in the middle of the board with his breachers. List is good. It's the battle trait though. The battle trait is what does it for the Iron Golems. Being able to turn anything they want into a 6 means their rampages are insane. Their throw bolas is insane.
Doesn't the breacher have like I run into you, do d6 damage, do dice damage or whatever?
So whatever he wants to do, he can do it. And breachers being super cheap and still like 3, I think a 3, 6, 4, 8 still. They're toughness 5, 30 wounds. They're hard to shift. And that T5, I think it's T5 or T6 and that Dominar as well, is hard to shift. Dominars aren't bad in combat. They're fairly cheap. They hit like a ton of bricks. And now he doesn't die.
There's a lot of these heroes in Bespokes that could use like a little bit more oomph because they can do a lot of great stuff, but there's so much lethality that like on toughness 4 nothing survives. You know, that's the Arcanaut problem again. But yeah, big fan of like Iron Golems doing well because like we always it's the Bespoke that just delivers every time. They're just consistent.
It does. And like how Ross was running it in our game, like the Dominar, if he wants to kill something, he's got breachers, right? But he doesn't want to waste breachers on chaff. The Dominar is ideal. He's got a fantastic profile for blending through chaff and a double to make him move or attack again. So the Dominar was just there to just blend through anything that was in the way of the breachers. So they could get in and smack what they want to smack. It was a really good list. He's a fantastic player. Absolute joy to play against.
I mean, I think I was reading somewhere that a very similar list to this took one of the events out in America, the Double Ogre Breacher, to running like a classic tools and smalls like shape of a list. So yeah, it's almost like we keep on putting them in S tier in tier lists, and no one believes us, and then they kind of like start doing well. I don't know.
The only weakness of this list, and I did take advantage of it, was that Ogre Breachers are Titans. Yes. And like many of the sort of like not top tier Titans don't have might makes right or an equivalent. So I was able to, in Race to the Ground, if you get a kill and you're on an objective, if your opponent's on the objective, you get points. Every time I put a zombie off the objective onto his ogre who was on the objective, so the ogre had to either kill that zombie for no reason or disengage and not attack. So his breachers actually didn't do all that much because they couldn't get the action economy to do it because they don't have it in their kit at all. Yeah. And that's the biggest
they're real cheap to
they are very cheap.
Very cheap. 220 is fantastic.
But that's that. I guess that's the kind of drawback of like not blessing them for strength. But it's exactly how you play around like ogres. It's exactly how you play around these kind of like you said it perfectly. Like you just surgically place a little annoying chaff, and especially like zombies that you can react and make it more difficult to kill and all of that. For Soulblight, it's great. Like Soulblight chaff are incredible roadblocks.
Right. So next, I'm going to butcher this name, so I'm going to try. Amish Santana is
yes, he was my game 4 opponent.
Yes, came over from Spain. Is that right?
Canary Islands.
The Canary Islands. Wow. Okay. And he brought Reclusians in the Ruination Chamber, Perigriff Crows, bunch of Reclusians, Prosecutor Prime, and a Prosecutor. So flying guys, walking guys, and dogs to turn off things. 7 fighters, so it's a decent enough size considering that most of your warband is Reclusians and expensive. So Toast, you played him. It's a very different. It's a different shape from the last Ruination Chamber list that won, was the one that did very well at Warhammer World, which was basically 4 dogs, 4 Reclusians, which is good. It shows that they can put together a few different kinds of warbands and still do well. I like the Prosecutors because they're fast and they go flying around. But yeah, you played him, so tell me.
Yeah, so Santana is fantastic guy. Wonderful, one of the best games I had at the event. Absolutely wonderful bloke. And this was his first major event as well. So he's only been playing for like just under a year,
Mhm.
is a fantastic player. This list is nasty. So basically what he did was the Prosecutor Prime and the Prosecutors both teleport every turn, no matter what.
Okay.
So you could never catch them. They would teleport into a place to shoot you. And then when you went after them, they would then double shoot you, then teleport away. It was a nightmare to hunt them down, especially with my list because I'm quite slow. And he just danced around. And then, of course, he has the third teleport on turn 2. That Reclusion just drops in and then just domes whatever he wants. And it's a nasty list. The Griff Crows do nothing. They run around, do objective stuff. And then you've just got 3 massively burly guys who can just blend through anything. And those primes are just picking away constantly with that 2-4-2-4 profile.
Mhm.
And it's like a hit and run list with a giant wall of just meat you've got to grind through. It's really good. This is a great list.
Love to see Stormcast do well. The paint job was incredible on them as well.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, no, they're really good. And yeah, no, just I never liked prosecutors, but I can see how playing them that way would be very annoying. I'm surprised that a 2-4-2-4 profile would be so much trouble, but you are running T3 chaff, so that will go
Yeah.
further.
Can-
And yeah,
Because they have the teleport, they can use the teleport instead of their movement action.
yeah.
So they can always basically get to shoot twice wherever they are and still whiz out the way. So
Yeah, I mean that was the thinking with Ephelin as well. But yeah, I mean it runs the same issue with your rat ogres,
yes.
which is like 2 attacks is But I mean, he obviously worked. It did
Mhm.
well. It's just not the usual Stormcast list that I would run, and it's thrown me off. So well done.
Well done. Right. Let's move on then before Demetrius has problems.
problem here.
Next up, Ollie Brown. He played Iron Jaws, Mega Boss, 1, 2, 3, 4 brutes, 2 Ard
Yes.
Boys, no blessings.
Yeah.
I played this. This was my finals game, actually. The only
How'd
reason
it
I
go?
managed to win this on a kill mission was because there were some very tall platforms and rope bridges that I basically climbed up. Like our first 3 turns, it was like first turn 0 points, second turn 2 points each, third turn 2 points each, last turn, okay, how am I going to win this? I have to win it by getting table quarters because I'm not going to win this by actually killing things. I think I killed 1 brute out of the entire game, and my rat ogre took 3 turns to do it. That was basically it. Of course, brutes are tough. 25 wounds, they can do damage. Of course, our boys are great now at 100 points. Mega Boss is a menace. I think my only comment on this, like, it runs basically like what any one of the new Iron Jaws lists do, right? Like, it's got all of the utility, it's got the real good power triples that Iron Jaws have. It's got the Mega Boss in there, so it can call a war, do great wow, do all these things. My only comment is I would wonder if it would be slightly better at 8 fighters instead by downgrading, just like by having 1 brute, for example, and then turning everyone else into Ard Boys. Because then you pick up those 100 points that you need to get the extra guy. That's my only comment on it, because you know what? Iron Jaws are great. Brutes do what they do. Ard Boys do what they do. But you don't generally tend to see lists with more than 2 brutes, for example, because 2 allows you to always have a brute on the board turn 1, regardless which deployment group turns up. And I think 4 might be overkill. But that's just my comments on it.
I like this a lot. It's really cool. I like the 4 brutes. I've seen a similar list before at Warhammer World that didn't do all too well. I suspect that was because that was before the update to Iron Jaws. And the Ard Boy change, I think, has actually elevated the list quite nicely. But the brutes are fun. Like, they're only 40 points smaller than the Ard Boy, but you are getting like almost twice the wounds, and you're getting more damage output, and you've got your messing everywhere. So it doesn't matter if a brute dies or they're slow, right? If a brute's out of position on a race to the ground or one of the other like random objective spawning missions, you've always got your messing somewhere, probably nearby, to mess with your opponent. That's pretty good. And I think as well, in your case, in this game, with your game, is that it proves that terrain isn't just an annoyance for people.
Yeah.
It is actually
No, it's
it's an equalizer it's required to let softer, squishy warbands actually compete. Because if there wasn't enough terrain on the board,
I would have
you
lost.
would have been
Easy.
ruled,
Yeah.
horribly
Easy,
ruled.
Easy.
So yeah, cool list, and I'm glad that terrain was actually a factor, which is not always the case in Warcry, sadly.
Demetrius, you played Angels last time, so what do you think?
It's a good. Bruto is good. 7-man list is decent.
If
I
it
don't
was
know if
8,
8 would have
is
been
what I'm
better.
saying.
Yeah, well, if it was 8, possibly. I still played the 7 list, but the damage and in general, like the kind of efficiency in this is spread, so that you, as you said, you have one brute in every deployment. I skewed mine to have more chaff. The art boys are not chaff, but more art boys, and like more specifically targeted, like Morgok and Mega Boss. But to be honest, the way that my list lost was that people would either target the art boys, which was the triple Corvus,
Right, Kellen.
the triple Shrike Talon, or like punish me for bringing those big menacing pieces by like stopping them from doing stuff. So maybe spreading it out was the answer, because then you've got 4-4-2-4 profiles with the it's not you playing, it's not you messing. Stuff up the big thing. You go +1 attacks, +1 strength. Suddenly 5-5-2-4 is a lot scarier, so they can clear mid to low wound stuff, and you can gang up if you need to. So yeah, no, I can see it.
Yep.
I can see how it did so well. And also Leicester Fat Cats, another great group.
Very good.
Great players.
Yeah.
Always do really well. So like it's the experience as well that counts with all of that. So
For
yeah,
sure,
100%.
for sure. Right. So next,
my favorite.
yeah,
Surprise
Michael's
of
back.
the
So
event.
Michael hasn't been to a few events recently. He used to be
No.
real big on Sword Like Gravelords, but he is back with a
Yep.
vengeance. And wow, Nurgle Rotbringers.
Finally, we got him.
Finally.
we did it. The Lord of Afflictions, massive Lord of Afflictions with Savagery. So does that make it crit 5 or 6? I can't even remember.
Crit 6.
Crit,
It's a
crit
3-6. It's a
6.
4-5-3-6.
It's a horrible profile. It's amazing.
Yeah.
3 Blight Kings.
On the movement, the amount of movement is wild. On
Well,
it.
it's
move
fly
6
with movement
fly.
6.
Four, yeah,
And range 2.
And range 2, which is real important. 3 Blight Kings with blighted weapons, 2 with Toxins. So Toxins, the bell that gives the +1 movement, and we're running Golgotch the Butcher from Fecular Flybones Fly Guys, because it's 100 points and its stat line is really, really good, and it's really efficient for what it is, but it's a beast, but it doesn't matter in these missions because there's no treasure. So
Nope.
there are doors.
There are doors, but there is no
Can't open
treasure.
doors as a beast. So
Yes.
you don't want to be stuck behind a piece of terrain and not
You
be able to
totally
open the door.
At move 3, yeah.
I believe the Blight Kings were Shield Blight Kings, if I remember. Is that right? No? Or
No,
they just
no.
punch
So
you
that was
guys?
my only. Yeah, that was my only
yeah.
comment on that. Yeah. So I have
Damage maxed.
no.
Well,
I
you say
have
damage, like they're middling in terms of damage.
3-4-2-4 or something. The first thing is, this is a slow list, but with a couple of doubles, those boys can run. 7-inch range on the Toxins means that you can make a chevron in between them, and then just send all your boys in.
There we
And
go.
just the sheer like mass that you're throwing at your
Yeah,
opponent.
math.
Just, I sat down and I had a similar list. So I have a list that I think would do quite well, but it would require a lot of experience and a lot of like playtesting. But it was mostly shields, 2 Toxins, very similar. 2 Toxins, and 1 I can bear just in case Gulgok and Lord of Blights. And it would take you up to 8 bodies. Something like 212 wounds or something like that, which is good luck chewing through that at T5, you know? I mean, you won't be able to kill anything because they're not made to kill anything. But you just take them, and they're going to take forever to get where they need to go. But once they get there, good luck taking them off. You know? They can heal like crazy. They can, They've got basically it's the same as Unfeeling Flesh, so they can take off of your main hits. So you're hitting either on two, like either doing 2 damage or 1 damage. Like it is just smothering. And
And
yeah,
they can't die. They can heal up to
Yeah.
12 wounds every
Yeah.
turn. It's ridiculous. They're so,
It's
like, you could do.
wild.
I had a game with Rockbringers. Someone did like 100 damage to the course of the game, and nothing died.
Mhm.
The whole man was alive. 100 damage took.
Yeah,
Like,
you just
what's wrong about it?
disengage and just plug another one in.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it's a very similar list to this that I've tried before. And this is a great list. And the best part of it, by far, second to none, is it's 7-man. It's thematic. It's competitive and thematic. It's beautiful. He nailed it. Love to see
Yeah.
it.
No, the thing that I've asked is whether the battle trait came into play, because the battle trait
Yeah.
for Rockbringers is really good. It requires you to be engaged, and then it requires you at the top of the round to roll a die, and on a 5+, you get to stop a model from doing a model that is engaged to one of your guys from doing abilities and reactions. Which means you just push one of your guys next to Calthea, and on a 5+, you don't get your triple. You push, next to a mega boss, and that mega boss does not get to rampage. They do get to kill you.
Well,
But even
on the
that-
base dice, all these guys need dice to do it, right? Even, let's say,
Yeah.
for example, I don't know, Vexmore, our friend Vexmore, right? If he doesn't get to use dice, he's just swinging with 2 attacks. And average over 4 if he gets 4 hits, he's not killing he's not killing a Rockbringer if he gets 4 hits.
Nope.
He needs to crit to do it
Yeah.
on 4 dice.
So yeah, incredible roadblocks, incredible team. I'm really sad it took so long for someone to take them competitively, but it shows that the list has legs. And yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Well done.
Who
Twinkle.
Which what bands do you play into? Because there was a lot of like Stormcast this event. Like
Yeah, it's weird actually.
like,
So we didn't see
Stormcast can cut through these guys quite nicely.
Yeah, so we didn't see ogres, things like Gutlords.
Yeah.
I didn't see any. There's probably a couple in there, but I didn't see any. There was no Vexmores that you would generally see. I didn't see any Varangard that you would normally see. So like, it's a bit of a weird event actually. Like most of the stuff that would be able to easily counter just like a whole bunch of wounds just wasn't there.
The usual Warhammer World gentleman's agreement to not take bullshit.
The usual no bullshit Warhammer World agreement kind of worked.
We'll say the lists were very sharp, but the matchups. So the matchups were the Vanguard, Stormcast, Cypher Lords, the Stormcast list that we talked about with the Reclusian, the
China, yeah.
Brian. Yep, and Ash with his Cities of Sigmar.
So a fairly low damage field into him as well, which definitely plays into that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It'd
Very
be
good.
interesting to see this in some other scenarios where there are some of those big, more damaging titans, things like that. Like, right? So things like the Ogre Breacher that we saw, the double Ogre Breacher, that'll cut through Blight Kings like butter. But then again, our boy, Lord of Afflictions, he will happily be able to counter that. So it will literally become, how do I manage the Lord of Afflictions whilst being able to eat into the meat of the nerdle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good list. I like it. It's fun. Last up, of the 3-1s, we have Stefan Ashwell. He was again playing Seraphon, so Seraphon managed to do it a couple of times today.
Yeah, more Seraphon.
Yeah. Another
It's a
Croxigor.
salamander. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. It's Croxigor, Skinks, a couple of Saurus, an Agrodon Lancer, and a Salamander. And a Star Priest. Because I like Star Priests. They got Tidal Serpents. They got a little cute attack. They're pretty nice. Not your traditional, like, oh, this is how I'm going to make a competitive Seraphon list. But again, you've got the Saurus Warriors with Tearing Bite that can spike high. You've got the Croxigor who he can hit you and you spikes high with Tearing Bite. That's always going to be
He's
good.
unblessed, which is crazy. He's a 2-attack Croxigor.
Unblessed. He's running 30 points worth of Divine Blessing. So he gave his Agrodon Lancer 4 wounds and +1 strength on the Salamander. I played the Salamander a bit, both versions, new one and the old one. I was never super impressed with it for the same reason I wasn't impressed with the Rattleguard, basically. But you can still use Skink Handlers to make the Salamanders do extra shots. And the difference is that as long as you have doubles, you can force them into the Salamander and make him.
This is actually the old Salamander because they're both still legal. Yeah. No, I like this list a lot. There's a lot of the Star Priest is obviously a wizard with good range. The Salamander, decent range, right? There's a lot of like high potential range shooting here. Agrodon Lancer. Yeah, the Agrodon Lancer as well. That threat, they're moving 8, I think. So they've got a massive threat range they've got on them. And then if you get past all of that stuff, you've got a crack score just to smash your face in, right?
Yeah.
And it's a fun list. I like it a lot. Again, I'm glad that it actually it performed well. And again, I think so. Looking at it, looked like he took the +1 to Tearing Bite as well. So he was damage maxing his Tearing Bite, so by defensively focusing it. I like it. Fun list. Very fun. Threats everywhere.
And I mean, I have no comment on Lizards. I don't play them. I don't know them. But I was gonna say 3-1 on top of, obviously, I think taking second because the paint job was fantastic. I think the second or third on the painting competition because the blends on the Skink Priest, just how bright the colors were. And the picture of the colors on the Salamander were incredible. It was just, my little heart. I voted for it because it was incredible.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. 3-1, and on top of that, doing so well in the painting, like I'd chalk that as a massive success, 100%.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Right, yeah, that's all the 3-1s. Toast had a couple more lists he wanted to talk about. There was Alexander Wilkes. He brought Vanguard Auxiliary Chamber. I played this in round 2 or 1? Round 1 or 2. I played against this list. So we're running...
round 3.
Round 3, there we go. So we got all the Fast Riders, a Lord Imperatant, a Soulsworn Knight Relictor. The Knight Relictor is basically there to push his buddies around so that they don't have to move, so they get to double tap for free, basically, which is pretty good.
Yep.
And then we've got the Lord Imperatant, who has the same ability as Calthea. So we're going to be using that to, again, push his buddies around so they get to do shoot instead of move shoot all the time. It's effective. Like, I almost lost to this list. I won by 1 point, let's say.
That's very close.
Yeah, it was very, very close. The amount of damage that they can put out when they don't have to move anywhere and they can just sit there and go, okay, I'm just going to sit there and go shoot all the time, and then get free shots off from the Lord Imperatant, and then get free more actions from the Knight Relictor, all of whom are shooting you as well because they all have ranged attacks and they have very good wizard bolts, both the Relictor and the Imperatant. I think it was fun. It's a really fun list.
No, I love Alex for continuing to push Vanguard. This is like the 3rd or 4th time we took Vanguard to Warhammer World or to other events like adjacent to it. Mm-hmm. And he's slowly like finding something that works. And he was very close, right? He came like middle of the pack, 2 wins, 2 losses. He almost beat you, so almost 3 wins, right?
Oh yeah.
So he would have like he could have catapulted himself into the top 10 easily. Yeah, potentially even podium, right? Like, it's a really fun list. I really, really like the Lord Imperatant. It's it's the unexpected pick because people will default to Calthea. I bet there's people watching this now who are going, "Why not Calthea?" Because the Lord Imperatant's better in this instance. It's more expensive for the same ability, but 4-4-1-4 at 12 or 15-inch range in an all shooting list is outstanding. It just everything hurts from everywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's good. Someone will crack Vanguard eventually, and it'll probably be Alex.
I think what did it? I was speaking to him after the game, and he said what really did it for him in terms of like struggling to win, going through the games, is that 10 wounds is a really difficult number. Like it's an annoying number for a 4-shot 1/4 damage profile shooting attack to be able to kill. Because most of the time, you're not going to be doing 10 wounds with 1 or even 2 shooting attacks. You'll do 8 for example. And 8 wounds is really easy to go through with 8 shots, wounding on 3s most of the time because you're shooting a chaff. But 10 wounds becomes very difficult, and when you've only got 6 guys, you don't really have an amazing amount of resource to be able to take down a lot of those fighters that you need to.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe there's something that can be done there, maybe with strength bonuses or something.
Who knows?
Who knows? And finally, we have Ash. Toast, you wanted to speak about this. This was Cities of Sigmar. Basically, a whole bunch of Steel Helms. He went toughness boosts everywhere. A Reclusian Prime and an Auric Flamekeeper.
This list sadly didn't do well. It came 26th out of 32, I think. But and it only got 1 win. But this list is like so unique. Going with it's a 9-man 11-man list, 11-man list, and nearly everything's T5 with a Reclusian Prime who's going to be standing there doing, I assume, just to be bulky, do damage, and to shut things off. He doesn't want to have flying about right with his reaction. I can see this actually being good and working if he had given them +4 wounds and not toughness. I think the toughness was a trap. 10
100%.
wounds is annoying to deal with. It is very killable, though. It goes down fast. But 14 wounds at toughness 4 is a pain. And because you're Steel Helms, you can go to toughness 5, toughness 6, toughness 8, potentially, I think, if you've got the right things around you, right?
I think the Ogre will give them +3 toughness.
Like, they have toughness for days, or just anywhere they want. I do think that wounds and this list becomes actually a nightmare to deal with. And when things start to die, that Auric Flamekeeper standing there to give things within 6 inches some extra damage, suddenly you're doing okay, right? I don't know. It's fun. I'm not sure if it's good, but
I think, all right, I think in this kind of mission pack where generally larger warbands are favored, and especially larger warbands with sticky fighters.
Yeah, and Herald as well, of course. Herald for movement.
And the Herald for bonus movement, right? So it makes them fast, and that's what you want out of this, really. Yeah, I agree. I think if they all had +4 wounds, this would have been a nightmare to get rid of. Because it would basically be 14 wounds, toughness 5 most of the time, because they can react to go, haha, it's me. And you've got the Prime, who's basically, it's like a thingy analogy. It's an Annihilator Prime analogy, the Reclusian Prime.
Yes.
They kind of do the same thing, but a little bit differently. So I think with wounds would have been great. So Ash, if you're watching this and you want to bring this again, give more wounds next time, because wow. it's going to do something.
As a side note as well, so Ash didn't do particularly well in the actual rankings. He did get 2 trophies though. He won the painting competition first and Judge's Choice. His warband was stunning.
It was great.
My God.
Yeah.
So good.
I will say the matchups were not favorable. Rotbringers, Iron Golems, and Dark Oath with a lot of with a big Titan, the biggest Titan. You can't stop that with toughness. Like,
no,
the
it has to be wounds.
Gonna run in and
Wounds
they're gonna go flying. So I think you guys are right. The dueling pistols was Galen Van Denst, just so beautifully painted. It's really inspired me to go and get mine done. It's not gonna be as good, but it's gonna be done. But yeah, no, it was an incredible warband. Very well painted, very well deserved for the first place.
Yeah, and
one last that I had as well was the Skaven. So there's only 2 Skaven players. Of course, there was you. There's another Skaven player.
Yes.
It's such a shame because it was your standard meta Skaven list. 2 Ogres, Packmasters, whatever. It came 20th. And when it won really big. Like 10, 13 points on victories. When it lost, it might as well not have been put on the board. Like getting 4 points, getting 1 point in a game that's a pretty interesting smash. And I don't quite understand why it happened, because this is the meta Skaven list. You see this everywhere, but it did not perform at all. And obviously this kind of off-meta janky list
well, there was
came
thought put
in.
into it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the thing I bang on about, which is everything plays differently. Even 2 lists in the same faction, as we can see, play completely differently. And
Yeah.
you as a person will have a play style, and it takes a while to find your voice and to find what works and how what works for you and what you play best with.
Yeah.
And you sometimes just need more reps, or you just need to change your warband to something that you're more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I love smashy stuff, like Iron Joe's just doesn't really gel with me for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me super sad, but still, like, it kind of, and then matchups and dice and all of that comes into play. So yeah, I mean, like, positioning is good and all that, but like, I think it's really easy to make a few changes and like go to the next event and do a lot better. So
Yeah. As well, just looking at his actual matchups as well. I think he was this first half of the event he did fantastic, and it was because Skaven are good, and he was able to bully squishy warbands like Cypher Lords and Dark Oath, right? So he was able to really leverage that power of Skaven. The last two games, though, I think it was the complete opposite, and he was bullied by Iron Golems. It was 1-17 on the score with Iron Golems, which is kind of horrendous. I don't even want to even think about how that transpired on the board. And his game three was against me, right? And Lightning Raid with the Horde Warband, like,
Yes.
it wasn't particularly pleasant.
Yeah.
It's very it is focused just on the kill, and if someone out kills you or has too many things that you can't kill, then it kind of falls apart. Well, I think your list is definitely more balanced, harder to play possibly, but it's
I don't know
able
if it's
to
more balanced,
handle
who
more
knows?
scenarios. It can handle more scenarios, right? It's
Yeah.
got the tools to not just be smashy.
Yeah. But anyway, that is it from our look at the lists. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Toast. Thank you,
Yay.
Demetrios, for coming around. We've lost Demetrios, unfortunately, but thank you very much for coming over. As always, Toast, you'll be able to find him over that way, over at War Games on Toast. Go check him out. Demetrios, you can check out his Instagram, Lord Phylax.
Yes.
I'll put all the links down. And yeah,
I
that's it
am
for-
I
Oh,
am
you too.
slowly kind of. Oh, I unplugged my camera because I'm an idiot. It's fine. But yeah, I was gonna say I'm slowly building the presence for Warcry UK,
Mhm.
just to have another way for people to find the tournaments that are coming up. But yeah, lots of good news coming up for Tabletop Scotland as well. Tickets for Tabletop Scotland have come out, but not for the tournament, just for the event. So
Sure.
if you're planning to come up to Scotland, that's definitely the time to look at
Check him
them.
out.
I'll be there probably, hopefully. So
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We will see. I was there last year, so we'll give it a go.
Lovely.
All right, good. So that's it from us. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
bye.
Bye bye.